It's been a unique year for all of us, but it's been an especially unique one for Marquette head coach and US U19 assistant Andrew Stimmel. He took over the Golden Eagles program as a first-year head coach last summer, only to see his first year abruptly come to an end. And now he's trying to navigate his first full offseason in the middle of a pandemic. As I mentioned, along with now being the Marquette head coach, Stimmel also an assistant on the U.S. men's U19 team led by Nick Myers. Stimmel, of course, familiar with Coach Myers, playing for him at Ohio State before getting into coaching. Prior to taking over at Marquette, Stimmel most recently was part of Yale's back-to-back Final Four teams, helping the Bulldogs win a title in 2018 as an assistant. So let's go on call with Andrew Stimmel, the U.S. U19 assistant coach, also the head coach at Marquette. And Coach, I want to start with the Golden Eagles side of this thing because you have the excitement of getting your first ever head coaching job, leading into your first season leading a program, and then you have the pandemic that hits. Just kind of describe what the emotions have been like over this last year for you.
Sure. I mean, it's been everything from exciting and surreal, to just, I think, the ups and downs that come with being a new head coach, certainly, and then for the season to end abruptly, initially, obviously there's disappointment, but then, your kind of emotions and your focus shift to making sure everybody's staying healthy and safe and, making sure that we're attacking this thing in the right way. But, just really thankful to everybody out there, from the university side at Marquette. It's all the healthcare workers and everybody on the front lines that are, helping keep everybody safe while they put their lives, on the line for everybody.
Well, we're going to try to stay quiet throughout this interview because I know you're doing some daddy daycare at home, right?
Yeah, the boys are, we just got done with a little bit of wall ball routine and some ground balls, and they're taking naps right now. So I'm trying to, do the best I can on both sides. But my wife's a rock star, so she's taking them right now for me.
Still coaching, even when you can't coach the team, you got your own kids to coach up on the lacrosse field, which leads us into the guy that you have a chance to coach alongside with the U.S. men's national team, and Nick Myers, a guy who you played for when you were playing at Ohio State. Can you compare what it's like to be a player with Nick Myers and then what it's like to be on the sideline with Nick Myers? How's it different?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely two different sides of him. I mean, he's an incredibly consistent and disciplined person, as everybody that's come to know him understands. And that's why he's been incredibly successful. Being a player, I actually had the privilege of playing for Coach, like you said, and being able to kind of go through that process when he was a younger first-time head coach as well, watching him kind of grow throughout the years he coached me, and then seeing where he's at now has been incredible. And being able to share the sideline with him, while wearing Team USA and representing U.S. Lacrosse has been just an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thankful to him for that.
You've obviously had a chance to get pretty close with some of these U.S. U19 players over the process of helping pick this team and then kind of coming down to a final group here before everything went down. How have you tried to stay in contact with some of these guys, and how have you seen them take the news that the World Championships that they worked so hard to try to be a part of are now going to be a year later?
I think they've just been incredible, along with, everybody's, I'm sure, players across the country for their own teams. These guys have been incredibly patient, incredibly understanding of the situation, and kind of the larger things that are at work here, just like we're all understanding. Their reactions, I think, once Coach broke the news to them, even though it was kind of, via text and hard for us to gauge, they were all just floored, I think, with the opportunity that they've worked for, still being kind of out there for them to take advantage of, even though it is a year away. So I know that they're incredibly thankful to everybody that's put in a lot of hard work in a short amount of time to make this thing happen, and they're really looking forward to the challenge that next summer will be.
You mentioned a little bit about what it means to coach for Team USA, and I know you've had a chance to kind of go through a good portion of this process now. What are some of the things you've learned from having a chance to coach a national team?
Yeah, I think it's the process in which you're trying to bring so many great players together, and work towards a common goal. isn't necessarily all that different from, what we do with our college teams, or maybe even what coaches do, at a high school level, youth level, club level. I think the biggest difference, and I guess the challenge is, there's so many good players out there, and there's so many guys deserving, but it's more about, who the guys are that are the right fit, schematically, the right fit personality wise, the right fit as people. And I think that's the biggest challenge of it, and I think that's what makes this entire thing so rewarding, is all the coaches and the work that they put in at the college level to coach these guys during the year, and prepare them and get them ready, to give them to us kind of in these short spurts that we get to try to bring them together really quickly, develop a bond as deep as we can, so we can really trust each other once we get over to Ireland next summer.
So the group that you have put together was on display at the U.S. Lacrosse Spring Premiere down in Texas, and you've picked out a couple of defensive plays we're going to kind of walk through. We're going to start here in the second quarter on a low wing play. Walk me through what stands out to you about this defensive play.
Sure. I think it's just all about posture. You can see keeping the Dodger one way there, navigating a two-man game on the wing. We're able to get out, with great posture again and reset the edge of our defense. And then just the last piece there of just showing adjacent, to really help out that on-ball defender, and just I think the power of playing with great posture inside there, talking the guy out of that dodge, closing back out again, and then kind of the offense stalls out. There's certainly a lot there to work on. Very imperfect, but guys just playing with great posture, which we feel is something that takes zero talent to play with, really allows us to cover up for maybe some situations that are less than ideal.
Yeah, little things that can make a big difference. Let's go to the third quarter now. You got a big little situation. Walk me through this.
Sure. In this situation, we're really just trying to keep the matchups if we can. A very common situation that you see at all levels. And then right kind of there at the end, as we're able to recognize the situation, recognize the matchups here as we slow it down again, we have a big on the ball, a short stick coming to set it. We want to try to keep this matchup if we can. This is in kind of a soft area, so we're able to get the defender underneath, get back to our matchup, and then kind of repeat here. And then once we recognize off the ball that we have a big on the ball, we can kind of turn, snap back to our man, be able to close out here and get great double team opportunity.
And finally, we're going to stay here in the third quarter with a high wing play and how you defended this one.
Sure. It's really, this actually came in the third quarter, Travis. Like you said, we had actually committed a few fouls in a row, so we were really fatigued at this moment. And the short sticks here did a great job keeping the Dodger one way. We knew we had to help, and then we rotated behind it. And just an awesome version of team defense here. And again, understanding that, listen, it's not just about defending your man. It's about defending the offense as a team defense, and understanding that guys are going to get beat sometimes. So I just thought that was a great example of us playing together, playing with 7 helmets, and being able to kind of cover up for each other amidst a really tough scenario after killing multiple penalties and being tired.
And obviously, that's going to be the goal for you guys as you look ahead to next summer, trying to get that whole group back together to play some team defense toward trying to chase a gold, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to be the challenge, I think, for everybody. We know the field is going to be loaded with talent, as always. So we're just looking forward to getting back together whenever that can be, so we can continue working towards that goal.
Andrew, thanks so much for the time. Thanks for being on call here. Stay safe to you and your family. We'll talk again soon.
Awesome, Travis. Thanks again for having me on. Stay safe. Best to everybody there. And thanks again for the time.